George and I were actually born in this house. We were brought up never to ask questions, to clear out if there were strangers around. We didn't go out together as a family. Father was always here. Mother took us on holiday, father stayed. And it was then you realised just, well, was a different life from what everyone else in the city had. It was strange. And it's when you get older, when now I realise how Mother must have felt sometimes when Father would disappear just at a shout. It's very difficult. I mean, the Clyde was Father's life, really, and is now George's.
The very day my father died, the actual afternoon that he died, I received word that someone was missing in the river, and I just slipped away from people. As I say, I didn't want to go out in the boat on my own, but you have to. He'd have wanted the work to continue, and so I went down the river and searched for someone that was missing.
Well, when there is a rescue, it's so wonderful. When there is someone rescued, it makes up for everything else. And, I mean, I know years ago people said to Mother, and I heard them say, why does Ben go out and search day after day, rain, snow, you name it, week after week, searching? Someone has already drowned, they are dead. But it is so important to get that person's body as soon as possible for all concerned, their friends and relatives. It makes such a difference. I think it's been brought to light more recently in the television and news with the Piper Alpha and the disaster at Lockerbie. We are now hearing people saying things on the television which I heard my mum and dad say years ago, how important it is to get their loved one's body.
We had a group of young men and girls come down. It was one of the boys' 16th birthday party, and they were drinking heavily on the river bank. So I went over and had words with them, yeah. They get slightly angry, but I made my point and asked them if they were going to have a party, could they climb the fence away from the river bank in case somebody staggered and fell in. And a friend arrived, and Stan and I went up for a cup of tea in the garden, and we were only in about 10 minutes when the shout went up that somebody had drowned in the river. And what had happened was this group had came back, and the chaps had all stripped down to their underpants and gone in for a swim, and the boy sunk instantly. So I ran down, I ran into the water to see if I could get hold of him, but I couldn't. Stan and some friends got the lifeboat out. I got into the lifeboat, and as I did, there was a little bit of what looked like skin colour was seen the way the sun was shining from a certain angle below the water. So I dived in, got hold of him, and I tried to pull him away, and the weeds were holding him tight, and seemingly my feet were just visible on the surface, and they could see I wasn't coming up. So Stan put down a boat hook and got hold of me and pulled, so the two of the combined effort dragged us away from the weeds were wrapping themselves around me too. A doctor was on the scene instantly. He was walking through the park with his family. He tried resuscitation on the man, but there was the young boy, there's nothing we could do. And it was so tragic because to see all these young men and girls who a few minutes earlier had been really literally drunk, suddenly sober up with the reality of what had happened, and they were all crying their hearts out, each blaming themselves, and unfortunately it's true, they were to blame.
You've smudged it.
I'll touch that up with white paint, okay? Then you turn it right around. Now you don't want to lean in that, you'll smudge it. So the benefit of watching snooker at night, put your hand there, So you can lean over it, rest your other hand on that, and you paint from that side. Never work blind. You see the line you're working to all the time. And I can't see the back bit, so I'll have to turn the paper around again.
Hello.
Thanks.
No problems today, everything went well.
It's all quiet.
All quiet, no phone calls, no,
Great.
nothing. All quiet.
Hello, Mindy.
When would you like Fred tonight? Late or early?
I'm going to phone the Weirman first, so we'll wait and see what he
Right,
says.
see what happens. Yes, we'll have to feed her first and take her out. So, come on, Mandy. On we come.
I've only got 2 boats that my father actually built. I've only got 2 left. They've either been destroyed in floods or, various things have happened to them. And I've got the one that I use, what we call the number 1, the Benny. It stays in the water all the time. And this small one, it's almost identical to the one in the water, except there's a small version of it. And yeah, I'd like to restore it. Not just because of the sentimental value, it's just the best boat for the job, You see the tree over there, it's got some yellow tape tied round it. I tied that round to mark the spot where a young man had been seen to fall into the water. And we rushed up, scrambled the police helicopter, and the man was seen to be drifting downstream, that's westwards. And then he disappeared, unfortunately, below the water. And we started the search, and everyone had, of course, had thought the man had drifted away downriver with the stream, where in actual fact I got him upstream, I got him further east of the tape, because again, knowing the currents, what had happened was once he had gone a few feet down in the water, instead of the current going downriver, it turned and swirled back up, taking the man further up towards the bridge. That was, I should cut the tape away, but I'll do it someday. When Father got his British Empire medal, we thought it was for rescuing about 350 persons from the water. After he died and I was able to get records, newspaper cuttings and look everything up, I discovered it was over 1,000. So, it's a lot of people. I mean, I wouldn't give you accurate figures, but we've had over a dozen, I've done over a dozen rescues this year. I've attended at 3 or 4 rescues, and have stopped at least another dozen people going in the water. Don't think there is such a thing as suicide. If people actually are seen to jump into the river as a cry for help, they don't want to commit suicide. I mean, you'll very seldom get a suicide that when they hit the water doesn't scream and shout for help. So that's the answer. They're not suicides, are they? There is a sort of difference between my father and my outlook in that he get really upset when he would take the body of a child out of the water. Perhaps it's because I don't have a family, but I don't feel quite the same about that. I get really upset when I take an older man out, an older woman out, person who they've lived all their life, and some of them have suffered an awful lot, and they've gone through an awful lot, and they've put up with it. And it's so sad to see them ending up in the river. They've got so many memories and so much they've had. A baby didn't have any life yet, I mean, maybe that's cruel, but it's not meant to be. But I get quite upset when I take older people out of the water. Just throw it to you. Now, up here, and then at the top we turn right onto the main road, Lights. You want to try to get people as soon as you can. You get very frustrated if you can't recover a body instantly, or, as I say, within a very short period of time. Unfortunately, it's a fact of life that people do go down on or near the river and they do drown, and it just makes me more determined to stop the next accident happening, to deny the river its prey. It's a challenge between the two of us, My father used to carry a small canvas haversack like they used in the army, and he used to have in it his wire brush, spare plugs, little bits of equipment he might have when he was going down in the boat into the harbour. He didn't carry as much as I started carrying because he never worried, for instance, if get his hands dirty, or I mean, it's a different ball game nowadays. People, not only ourselves, we're asked to wear rubber gloves when we handle bodies, so I don't usually bother putting them on, but I have them in a bag for police officers and anyone else who, so that they have, if they wish to put them on, they're there. You've got a body bag, you know what that's for, yeah. And you carry a white sheet, because you don't always put a wet body into a body bag. You wait until the water drips off it before you put it in the bag. But you have a white sheet to cover it from, so you don't have any members of the public. You just don't want what I call the ghouls looking at what's going on, you know. Hello, George Parsonage here. You can hear me, I'm on the mobile, yeah? Right, I've got a body in the river at the Moat House Hotel. I didn't know this one's missing, he's been in the water for some time. Maybe they should have a look at it. Do this anyway. Here's young. In a white shirt. Blue trousers.
Jeans or trousers?
Trousers, I think. They look like trousers, yeah. No shoes.
No shoes?
No shoes. I've now found a set of stairs are safer than... I didn't trust them until I had used them. Good afternoon, Dr. Zaki.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
Not bad, thanks.
Just watch, remember it moves when you go in, right?
Yes,
it's the second time you've been in a boat. You're okay, I've got you, Doctor. Just step back, onto the seat. That's you, sir.
Is it all right?
Yes, you're okay now, perfect. It's just solid as the Rock of Gibraltar now.
Can I go there?
See that? See the rest? Yeah, the rest of the body isn't bad either. See,
No. Is there anything there?
See, I'm wondering, that's what made me suspicious, seeing that greenness.
It's a bit discolored there, quite right. But how long the body is lying there? This is the whole thing.
But, I mean, the flesh isn't... It's not... I mean, do you not think that's unusual?
It's a bit unusual there, yeah. I quite agree with that point.
Bit enough to get the thing in.
Discoloration just now.
I'll get when it comes out eventually.
Okay, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's-
Round the side is all the dirt.
You've got these ropes, Bob. Can you pull that through if we lower it down and scoop them up?
You wouldn't do the job, the humane work, unless you think of them as people. They are people. But at the same time, I really don't want to know their names or who they are or anything about them. The main reason for that is I don't want folk to know who I'm talking about and bring more grief and heartache to the family. But I think that also helps me not to get too personally involved.
That's it. No, let the blue rope down. We're trying to bring up the bottom end. We'll put this down.
Look at these fella. He ain't very old, is he? Do you blame me for phoning these now? I'll just take them off. Hang on, I'll get them out the road. That would help me. I've done it a million times. If you want me to. It's got the appearances as though it has came down river. That could be why the shoes are off. If that came right down from Lanarkshire and it comes over shallows, the feet are trailing, then it would, you know, the shoes not get knocked off. It is macabre when you're taking dead people out of the water. It is. There's no questionable doubt about that. But at the same time, it's a very rewarding service to people, and that's only a fraction of the work. I say I discovered that you're rescuing as many as are drowned, so it's really, you know, it's terrific. I spoke to you several weeks ago. Well, okay, fair enough, but I'm telling you now, you do not stand up in these boats. Now, I've informed the university of this, and I don't expect it to have happened again. And if it does, I'm afraid it's a police matter.